You may have heard experts say to focus on your strengths. But what if you have strengths that you don't know you have until you try something new? I have a PhD in medical science and worked as a scientist for almost 20 years. But I'm also a professional balloon artist. So, how did a scientist find her way into the world of balloon artistry? In 2019, my church needed a balloon twister for a community event. No one put their hands up, and so I thought, maybe I can give it a go. Now, I haven't twisted balloons ever in my life, but then, how hard can it be? Went to the shops, bought a pack of balloons, go on YouTube as you do when you want to learn something new, and taught myself how to twister, balloon dog. Now, that was fun. And before I knew it, I was hooked. I loved it so much that I started a side hustle twisting balloons. Twisting balloons for fun is one thing, but starting a business while raising kids, that's a whole different ballgame. Imagine, I'm 37, I have 3 young kids, my firstborn is a son, followed by my surprise package, twin girls. I laughed and cried when I saw the 2 round heads on the ultrasound. When my maternity leave with my girls ended, I was told that my work hours was cut due to reduced research funding. When I had so much fun twisting balloons, I thought, why don't I do something with this? What if I started a business? Now, I haven't done or started a business before, so I didn't know what to do. I had no plans, no blueprint, just a bunch of balloons and an idea. Here's what I do know. I love bringing joy to people with balloons. It makes me smile when I see a kid or adult get a balloon. This is the best job if you're a people pleaser. So even though I was unsure, I didn't know what to do, one thing I've learned about trying something new is that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. And so when we feel uncomfortable, it sends distress signals, making it tough for you to try something new. It's like they've got little alarm systems saying, danger, new thing, stick to your routine. Now, it's okay to be comfortable in your routine, but if you want to go past and push yourself and reach your potential, you do have to step out of your comfort zone. Now, let's face it, the fear of trying something new is real, especially when there is a risk of failure. We often think that when we fail, we're not as good as we thought we were. That little voice creeps in and whispers, "You're not good enough." But the thing is, it's through those failures and cringe-worthy mistakes that you learn and improve. So the next time you feel discomfort, just remember you're on the path to growth. In fact, for us to grow, we have to develop a growth mindset. Now, the idea of growth mindset comes from Carol Dweck's work. It's about believing that your abilities and intelligence can grow with effort and learning. So instead of seeing mistakes or failures as signs that you're not good enough, we see them as opportunities to improve. Now, when I first started as a balloon artist, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't realize there were different shapes of balloons, let alone advanced twisting techniques. And let's not forget how to perform and entertain with balloons. Children are a pretty tough crowd. But even though I was a scientist for so many years, suddenly I was a complete beginner again. Except this time, I wasn't in the lab. I was in the land of balloons. But the scientist in me couldn't resist. I dove headfirst into research, learning all I can about balloon art. It wasn't just about twisting balloons. It was about mastering the art. Now, just 2 years into learning balloon art, the National Gallery of Australia asked me to create a balloon display for their family fun day. So imagine, it's 2013, and Canberra is celebrating its centenary, and in the sky, you see this enormous floating whale creature. That's the sky whale. Now, my task was to create a balloon display to celebrate the launch of her mate, Sky Whale Papa. There you go. So he's this huge male sky whale holding his babies. And somehow, I have to create these magical creatures and bring them to life using just latex balloons. The thing is, I've never created an organic creature like the sky whale, not with its bits and bobs. So, this was definitely a first for me. Now, when they asked, I didn't hesitate. I said yes. But deep down, I was freaking out. How on earth am I going to pull this off? But I'm a problem solver at heart, and so I thought, I'll figure it out. And I knew I needed expert help. I immediately thought of Lily Tan. She's a world-famous balloon artist, and she also is a Guinness World Record holder for the largest 3D balloon sculpture. It's a robot that's so big that it fills the whole shopping mall concourse. Now, I was a bit nervous reaching out to her because I wasn't sure if she would be willing to help me. But I discovered that the balloon community are full of generous people who are willing to help and share their knowledge. So she said yes, mentored me, and gave me the confidence that I need to make these complicated sculptures. Now, the Sky Whale Papa is meant to be a symbol of care and nurture, but it was a beast to make. Here it is as a hot air balloon, and here it is in the making. Yep, looks like a wrapped up mummy, an ugly one at that. But that's the beauty of learning. It's always going to be messy, or in this case, ugly, before you get it right. Well, I ripped off his head and started over. I decided to simplify things a bit and ended up with this. And here's the final result. This was by far the most challenging balloons I've had to make. I felt so relieved that it all came together with the help of my mentor and friends. But none of that growth would have happened if I had let fear take over and said no. Real progress happens when you push past fear and step out of your comfort zone. That's when you will learn and grow the fastest. You will know by now that I love a good challenge. So my next big challenge was competing on Channel 7's reality TV show Blow Up in 2023. Think Lego Masters, but with balloons. So I was up against world-famous balloon artists, some with 10 to 29 years of experience. And then there was me, with less than 4 years under my belt and doing this on the side. Each episode was a new challenge. And, it was absolutely intense, exciting, and at times pretty stressful as well. In this one episode, we had a wild challenge, literally. The theme was Into the Wild, and I was tasked with creating the garden habitat. Right away, I thought of creating the life cycle of the butterfly. I thought, what better way to showcase nature's magic than metamorphosis? Now, for this piece, for this creation, I had to start with the environment, which were the plants of the leaves, which were the leaves of the plant. And that seems simple enough. But first, I have to build a frame. So I grabbed my trusty aluminum rods, cable ties, duct tape. I felt a bit like MacGyver. But I'm no DIY expert. I had rods slipping to the side, and it took forever to get this frame up. And even then, it wasn't exactly sturdy. Now, when I finished creating the frame, I looked around at other people's sculptures, and my heart sank. Everyone had big sculptures. There was a bamboo forest, a waterfall in a pine forest, and even a giant lion head. And all I had was 4 leaves. As I started to make my butterfly, the self-doubt kicked in, and I found it really hard to keep going. It's amazing the negative chatter that happens in your head, knocking your confidence, causing you to doubt yourself and your abilities. But I reminded myself of the amazing creations that I had made. I mean, I did make the Skywheel family, right? I knew I had it in me. And so I refocused my mind to doing my best for this creation. I was able to execute my vision, and I'm really proud of this piece. This was my magnum opus. In creating this piece, I had to undergo metamorphosis as well. I started off like the caterpillar, eager and hungry for knowledge, feeling excited to learn and grow. Then came the chrysalis stage, where I felt crushed and trapped by my own limiting beliefs. But I had to be patient, trust the process, and keep pushing even when it felt uncomfortable. And finally, when the time is right, I emerge as something beautiful and wonderful, just like a butterfly. This journey reflects a powerful truth. Through trials and challenges in your life, we can transform into something beautiful in our own time. We cannot compare ourselves with others. Instead, we need to focus on our own journey. Ask yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? Remember, you are a beautiful butterfly in the making. You are on your own unique path to success, whatever that may look like. What's truly incredible is that by trying something new, I've unlocked a whole new world of opportunities that led me to discover my purpose, helping people think scientifically by making learning fun using balloon art. By merging my love for balloons and my passion for science, I've created fun science shows for kids. So no more boring textbooks to learn about science here. Kids love balloons. And what better way to get their attention than with fun and colorful balloons? By using visual storytelling, we can tap into play-based learning, which is the best way for kids to learn. This journey is just starting, and I'm really excited for what lies ahead. You've heard how my life is full of twists, pun intended. Would you like to add a bit of twist to your life? Do something different. Try something new. Get uncomfortable. You never know what passions and gifts you will discover. And the courage to step out and challenge yourself may change your life forever.